Hello. Hopefully you're all well. Everything is fine and you can hear me okay. Welcome to Grant Talks 20 Bits. Weird because we had a week off last week, which was a bit strange, but I was actually out performing hypnosis. What a weird kind of thing for that is. Let me just check sound-wise that we are live and everything is good. There we go. I've got that. We can see people are tuning in now. Let me know in the comment section where you are watching from. And yeah, whether you're performing or not. Richard Cole, first comment. It says, "Hey, buddy. Hey, Richard. Hope you are well." Trying something different tonight as well. We're going live on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn as well. So that'll be interesting. I don't do much on LinkedIn, but it's good for some people, so we're going to put it out there as well. Sounds good. Thank you very much. I have a new microphone, the Shure SM7. It is a great bit of kit. It's a so I'm going into like tech mode then. It's a USB and XLR microphone. I'm doing some stuff live streaming for like a live streaming company, talking about live streaming stuff, which is good fun, but you end up getting caught up in that mode as well. Paul Ramsay, glad to see you're not upside down and muted. Yes. I don't even know how that happened. I consider myself quite a seasoned live streamer now, but I was on a mastermind with Paul Ramsay, which if you are a stage hypnotist, you need to be jumping on those masterminds. They're absolutely amazing. We had Brenda Kay on last week, whatever night it was, and that was very insightful, so it was great. We have got Rob Temple. Rob Temple, good to see you, sir. Hopefully you are well. It'd be great to get you back on as well, Rob, talk about your upcoming tour as well. But yeah, the SM7 is a great microphone. Joris is here. Joris, I don't know if I pronounced that right. Joris. Thank you very much. Everyone's complimenting me on my sound. What about my looks? You know, make it nice and dark in here. Natasha Stanley is here. Colin Chapman is here. Sarah Ann is here. Rob Temple is anytime. Well, let's get that sorted. Absolutely. So we've had the welcomes ready for tonight's guest. Should be a good one tonight. Please make some noise. Sam Lyons is here. Sam Lyons, how are you? Hopefully you're back into gigging mode as well. The comments are going a bit wild tonight. That is good. So, looks, as I said, you sound great. Thank you very much, Richard Cole. Bless you. So before we do anything, please make some noise. Put the applause emoji in the comment section. Please make him feel very welcome indeed. The one, the only, Mr. Howie Hypnotize.
Hello.
Oh, there we go. Let me just make you make you bigger as
hey,
the
look at that.
The actress. There we go. How are you, buddy?
I am doing wonderful. Thank you for asking.
Fantastic. Yeah, it's. The last time I saw you, we were actually at a conference together in Missouri, Michigan,
St. Louis, Missouri.
There we go.
There for the Heartland Hypnosis Convention. It was wonderful. Nice to meet everybody.
It was nice to actually put faces to names and actually real people in comparison to their Facebook profiles. It was interesting that people kind of said it was nice to meet both of my personalities. I don't know what they meant by that. But yeah, great conference. So, Howie, tell me about you. What are things like currently where you are? In fact, whereabouts are you in the US of A?
I am in New York, upstate New York.
Nice.
I hail out of Rochester, New York. So
nice.
Yeah.
Paul Ramsay says he's hoping to be at Heartland next year. That will make it really cool.
That would be awesome. We'd love to have him back.
Yes. Jeff Bennick says, hi, Grant and Howie and the gang. There we go. So, tell me about you. What were you doing before you got into hypnosis?
So before hypnosis, I was a teacher. And I've done a lot of different things in life, but the last career I had was a teacher. Left that profession to start hypnosis.
Nice.
I was, yeah.
Yeah. Interesting that, like, from a lot of the guests that we've had on here, there's the good hypnotists, the successful hypnotists all seem to come from very similar backgrounds. They're either magicians, really dodgy salespeople, or teachers. And I think as a teacher, you know, you kind of other skill sets that we use as stage hypnotists, a lot of that is there already. Stage presence, holding an audience, having to deal with unruly children, you know, a lot of that stuff is there. So how was the transition going from being teaching into stage?
I went directly into clinical work.
Right.
So I thought I did training with a gentleman that trained people how to do stage and how to do uh, clinical. And when I got done with the training, I was expecting that there was going to be some more stage aspect of it. But at the
Mm,
end of it, it was only clinical work. So I had to jump on the train to learn more stage stuff later on. I did hone my craft doing lots and lots of clinical work
mm,
prior to getting into stage work. But I went to a conference where I got my uh, what is it? My teacher certificate to teach NGH. So
nice.
teaching the NGH course. And when I did that, I met Dan Candell. And in meeting Dan Candell, he
Yeah.
said, you know, with your background, you should be a stage guy. And I said, no, I just kind of really like clinical. And he said, no, you should be a stage guy. And I said, no, really like clinical. And then I did my first show and then it was over. So it kind of did one for my son for his graduation, and that really the bug bit. And
Yeah.
so I was wanting to do stage more than I wanted to do clinical after that point.
Yeah. It's interesting what you said about how you kind of did the clinical stuff, but you thought there might be some stage element to it. I do believe there's a lot of people that train in clinical hypnotherapy that want to learn the stage stuff. You know, that are a lot of people's preconceptions about hypnosis is the dodgy bloke with the pocket watch doing all the cool stuff. And then they get into the
Right.
clinical stuff and there's not too much of that about there. So yeah, and Dan Candell is a fantastic hypnotist as well. He has a great story that is told on this show about how one particular volunteer on stage got carried away. I'll not tell the story because I have a weak stomach, but it was a great story as well. So tell me about your first experience with hypnosis, because I mean we have a mix of audiences. We have some UK people, some US people. In the US, stage hypnosis is a lot more accepted as such. It's in high schools,
It is.
proms. What was your first experience of a stage hypnosis show?
So my first stage show, again, I started it with a post prom for my son. I just wanted to see what it was like. You know, I'd seen things done and never had any formal training in it, and I was like, I could pull this off. I mean, with my background and what I like to do, I said I could do this.
Mm.
So I did the show, and uh, you know, you get kids staying up past midnight, and it gets very easy to hypnotize people. So with that, it made it real fun to do it.
Yeah, yeah. It's it's weird the difference in especially UK and US audiences. My first time over there, somebody said to me, "Make sure you select volunteers. Don't let them rush the stage." But being a UK hypnotist, we're used to like really trying our hardest to get people on stage. So I thought I can't do that. So I invited everyone on stage and nearly got knocked off my feet. It's very different indeed. Tell us about that first show. What did it feel like that first time going out there and doing it?
Well, the first time was a small group, so it wasn't a very large group, which was kind of nice to get my feet wet with that kind of small crowd. Um, but I had almost his whole party wanted to volunteer. So, kind of like you said, the rush of the stage. I think I had two people left over to clap for my volunteers as we were running through the different skits that we were running through. But it was just, I love the amazing experience of not having to work through a problem with somebody. You know, I think that was the biggest insight for me. Instead of doing clinical work where we were trying to get to a solution, this was just fun and games. And the more laughs we were having, the better time that everybody was having.
Exactly. So Colin's just in the comment section there saying, seeing as we're outing him for the dodgy salesman, and he's also got a dodgy pocket watch and a dodgy pocket watch tattoo on my arm as well. Are you really a hypnotist if you've not got a pocket watch tattoo? I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, I've know of a hypnotist that had a really prominent tattoo done for that, and I don't know if they're still a hypnotist anymore, which is quite
I
interesting.
don't have one.
Yeah, that's what you need to get after the show. We'll design one for you.
I'll get the pocket watch tattoo put on me. All right, we'll do
Exactly.
it.
Exactly. And YouTube comment says, oh, Tyrone, good evening, Grant. Good evening, Tyrone. How are you? Tyrone, you are looking fantastic, by the way, buddy. It'd be great to get you on the show as well. So tell us a bit about the challenges you have faced along the way as well. I mean, we all talk about the good shows, our successes when everything was wonderful. But
Sure.
you know, has there been something along the road where you've kind of gone, wow, that was a night that I learned something?
I've had a couple. Well, I mean, everything's a learning experience, right? So
Absolutely.
I have a skit in which they fish, and I had them bait a worm, and a girl had a phobic experience to it, and luckily, in all the training I've had, it didn't last very long, but she uh, she jumped a lot further than I've ever seen anybody move for a imaginary worm that she was baiting onto a hook.
Wow.
So yeah, but most of those things. Oh, I had a really good one. I was doing a show in New York City, and I pulled out the Hypnoswirl. I don't know if how many of you guys use that. And I always explain in the very beginning, it's not hypnosis, but it's an illusion. It's what magicians do.
Mm.
And I started to spin it, and the guy actually flopped out of his chair onto the floor
Yeah. Yeah.
and passed out. Well, went in straight into hypnosis.
Wow.
So my whole audience was in gasps because here's this gentleman just laying on the floor and handled it like a true professional and just pulled him right out of it. But everybody was just, but you want to talk about a setting the stage for what you're expecting to see.
Yeah.
It definitely it kind of elevated that show up a little bit.
Yeah.
My guests were very good that evening.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, that expectation and belief goes through the roof. You mentioned a couple of great points there as well. And like the abreaction for the girl having the phobic reaction to the worm and the guy flopping out of his chair. Do you think it's important for stage hypnotists to have that kind of foundation in clinic? Oh, we've just lost you for a second. That foundation in clinical hypnosis. Oh, we got you back there. I don't know what happened then.
You got me back?
Yeah, we're back. Did you get the question?
I did not.
Oh.
I apologize.
From what you said there about the girl having the phobic reaction and the guy flopping out of his chair, how important do you think it is for stage hypnotists?
Uh-huh.
I've
You
lost
still
your
there?
screen again then.
Oh, hold on just one second. I'm
There we
just
go.
trying to, apologize.
Oh, no, it's okay. It's live. This is what happens.
Yeah, I know. Okay. Are we back?
There we go. We're back. We're back.
Sorry.
So yeah, the importance of stage hypnotists to understand or have some kind of foundation in the clinical side of hypnosis as well.
I think it's super important. Without it, I don't think I could have handled some of the other things that have happened in life and around and during shows and be able to handle them with such grace and ease to make this job not look like it could be scary. I mean, for somebody that would not understand what was happening to your participant on stage could be very scary for those watching and for your people that have hired you for the gig.
Yeah.
So I'm very thankful for my clinical training that I had prior to coming into a stage background.
Yeah. Do you think, and here in the UK, there's this common misconception that stage hypnosis, doesn't help promote hypnosis in a good way. How does that work for your clinical practice? Do you think the stage side of stuff helps that, or do you get more clients because of it? Do you get more referrals? What are your opinions on that?
So, without doing stage, I don't think I would have half the clients that I have. Just because I'm able to show the benefits of what hypnosis can do. And then you can also talk about what it can be used for clinically so that when the show is over, you have people coming up and saying, I'm stressed, I need to lose weight. I'm an athlete, I need help with sports performance or stuff of
Yeah.
that nature. And then after they see, my show always ends with a positive suggestion. And
Mhm.
so after they see that positive suggestion and start to see their friends acting a little differently or just behaving nicer to themselves, I find that more people call just because of that reason right there.
Yeah. I think it's something we have to do. It don't matter what type of show you do, wherever you market your show. I know we have guys that build themselves as adults, guys that do family friendly shows. It's always got to be done in a positive way. If we leave them with that good taste in their mouth, that positivity about hypnosis,
Yeah.
it means we all get more bookings at the end of the day. So yeah, absolutely. So I mean, I've seen guys like that final skit, that awakener, is just give them loads of really positive stuff that they can take away. That is, I think, is brilliant. Yeah,
Yeah, so just besides counting them up 1 through 5 and wide
yeah,
awake, it
yeah,
it makes a big difference.
yeah. And we want people to go away with that really great feeling. Tyrone's got a question. I have a question. Grant, does your guest use similar inductions in both clinical and stage? Great question. Yeah. What what do you transfer from the stage to your clinical practice? Because I couldn't imagine you doing like an arm pull. You come in for quit smoking and down on the floor. How
I
what
don't.
inductions do you use on stage versus in your clinical practice?
I use a partial progressive along with a shock induction on stage, and then for clinical, I use a progressive
Yeah.
just because, it's what people expect, it's what they want.
Yeah.
I mean, I if they're kids, then I'll use a rapid or instant, but even then, you're gonna set it up with an induction after the rapid or instant just to solidify everything for them.
Yeah. Now you say kids there. This is a weird thing that I couldn't get my head around when I was over there. Um, what is the minimum age to hypnotize people in the US?
There is none.
That's amazing. Here in the UK, we have to have certain guidelines that we have to stick to. So they have to be over the age of 18. They have to
Oh,
be free of, medical or mental conditions. But yeah, it's so weird the difference. But in the UK, I think we have this weird habit of making common sense into legal law. So yeah, so yeah. What's your favorite?
I prefer 12 and above, but I prefer
Yeah,
14 and above even better. But I've done younger children than that, but they live in hypnosis, so they just don't know that they don't know anything has ever changed differently in their world. So you don't get the reaction that you would ever want out of them typically,
yeah,
at least in my experience.
absolutely, absolutely. Colin Chapman. Well done, Colin Chapman, for the first inappropriate comment of the night. Colin says,
Oh
"We're
no.
not Catholic priests. Kids are perfectly safe with hypnotists." I don't know. Have you not seen most of the hypnotists out there? I would not leave my children with them. I would leave my children with pictures of me from earlier on when I was a hypnotist. Do you know what I mean? What is it with hypnotists all wanting to look like serial killers in their posters? I'm guilty
Oh
of this as
no.
well, looking dark and mysterious. But yeah, absolutely. What's your favorite group to hypnotize? I mean, it's a great thing, hypnosis, for the different markets we could, the post-prom grads, corporate, holiday parks, resorts. What's your favorite group to hypnotize and why?
Mine happens to be the high school market.
Mm.
I enjoy those kids. As being a teacher, I taught in the high school market. I still have lots of respect for these kids. I think they still have a lot of growth, and I think as being a hypnotist, you have an ability to form and help somebody form an opinion
Yeah,
of a profession.
yeah,
This might even be something that they would consider doing as a living themselves, as a hypnotherapist, which we could use lots more of those in this world, especially what's going on.
absolutely, absolutely. And what a great time to educate, inform, inspire young people on the power of the mind and how important those thoughts that you have affect your mind and body. It took me a long time to discover that. And I think being able to teach it to young people in schools, the importance of monitoring what you think, I just think is so good. But then you Americans, you guys have been big on the therapy for years. You guys are all you're all well adjusted.
Yeah, all well adjusted.
Well, most of you are.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So,
So, tell me, I mean, you must have some interesting stories or tales from the road. What's one of the most memorable experiences that you've had through hypnosis during your time on stage?
some of my best times were a few years back when my son was able to work with me every single day. So
Yeah,
every show that we went to, he worked with me through it, and it was just amazing to have him there. And if I would miss something or catch the wrong cue, he was always there to help me along. He was also a second pair of eyes.
yeah,
As hypnotists, I have a tendency to let the participants shine. I have a tendency to do more of my show behind them than in front of them.
yeah,
And sometimes I don't catch those fakers soon enough. And I think just having those extra set of eyes to where he would be like, hey, over there, that guy, he's
yeah,
got to go. She's got to go. She's not in. She's just playing along. I'm like, all right, let's go. So I think that kind of stuff, I really enjoyed working with him. And then I picked up my niece the last year. So it's been fun working with family and just making a family affair out there and just kind of having a good time uh, with them,
yeah.
teaching them a craft.
Yeah, absolutely. Interest again, because hypnosis, it doesn't matter what you do in life. Once you understand hypnosis, it's going to benefit you in all areas of your life. Interesting point you brought there about fakers. Because I always believe there's two types of fakers. There's the fakers that they think they're faking, but they're actually still in trance.
Yep.
And then there's the fakers that are just faking. Um, I like to the fake fakers, the ones that they think that they're still in control. I like to keep them and use them because it's a great way of saying to the audience, this person thinks that they're not hypnotized. But yeah, the fake fakers, it destroys a show. But yeah, what for you? Not to throw you on the spot. What for you
Sure.
is the difference between the two? How do you what makes you go like that person they're gonna go?
Which person am I going to throw off? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah,
Is that the question? I'm looking for that person that's blatantly opening their eyes or
yeah,
blatantly able to do something that at this point they shouldn't be able to do.
yeah,
Um, whenever you see somebody totally adjust themselves to a super more comfortable position, you know that they're not there. You
yeah,
you know that they're not to a workable state. They may again be faking, like you said, um, but they're really not to where I really want them. I
yeah,
really want that when I say sleep that they flop like a fish, but not fall out of their chairs.
yeah,
That's and again that's my style. I'm not a slide off your chair kind of guy, but I do want to see you just pretty much go to that rubber tendency that most people go to when you say the word sleep.
yeah. Good couple of comments on the assistants here as well. Assistants can be a huge help. How fun to bring your family into the business. And Colin Chapman says having an assistant is a game changer. It used to be his son, but sadly now he has a big boy job. Yeah, having that extra person on stage just does make a lot. And Facebook user, I can't see your name because you've not clicked the permissions, but it says floppy fish. That's a great point. I know it's quite divisive, especially in the US. Here in the UK, not so much. Like, do you lay them on the floor?
I have, but I don't.
Yeah,
Um, it it all depends on what you're going for.
yeah,
It depends on the show. It depends on who I'm hypnotizing. It depends on what time it is. It depends on a lot of different
yeah,
factors. If it's going to be a very tough show, I would want them on the ground
yeah,
because I think it has a tendency to push them into a deeper
yeah,
trance.
absolutely.
But if it's going to be a show at 1, 2, 4 o'clock in the morning, they can sit in their chairs all day long. They're halfway there by the time I even begin.
Yeah,
So I'm not overly worried about that crowd. I don't want them so deep that they're not going to do anything.
yeah,
I've had that person, you get that one person that just you hypnotize them and then they do nothing, and I end up using them as a prop, as a placemat on the
Yes.
floor in front of everybody or
Yep.
something of that nature, and they just won't move. They're there.
Yeah.
So
I think it's great what you're saying there as well, because it's about being flexible in your approach. You know, that occasion is when a drop back's going to be used. A different occasion is when, you know, you sit them in the chairs. What's your favorite induction on stage to use?
progressive with a shock.
Yeah.
That is my favorite. I've I've trained with so many different people. I've trained with Justin Trance. I've trained with uh, oh come on, Dan Candell. I've
Yeah.
trained with Freddie Jacqueline. I've trained with many
Yeah.
people out here that are considered wonderful names in this industry. Mike Mandel,
Yeah.
different people. So there are many different people out here that I take aspects of my show and fold them in when I need them.
Yeah.
Everything is a tool in a toolbox.
Yeah.
Not everything has to need a screwdriver. Sometimes you do need a hammer.
Yeah.
And when you need that hammer, you better have it in your toolbox.
Yeah. And that's I think that's the joy, especially of the hypnosis industry at the moment. We've got so much easy access to some absolutely great people that are doing some great training. And so there's a lot of good stuff out there. And it'd be interesting to see where the next generation kind of comes through with all the stuff as they all merge as well, because there's some great different techniques out there.
I think there's a lot of great people out here. I mean, if you're not training with somebody at least once a year or every couple of years, you're putting yourself behind the eight ball.
Yeah.
Whether that's in your clinical practice or whether that's in your stage practice, you should be doing trainings and learning from different people. I just think it's so important. And if you're not training, you should have a mentor then,
Yeah.
somebody that's going to kick you in the butt and keep you moving forward. I know that my shows were the best in the very beginning because I was learning so much information, and you know, as you learn things, you pick up different things and aspects in your life that you're willing to do or not willing to do. Sorry, dogs in the background.
That's okay.
If you can't tell.
I thought you'd hypnotize me
So,
for a minute.
oh,
So yeah, Paul Ramsey,
bark like a dog.
Paul Ramsey says, Howie drove several hours to see my show years ago. Only a few colleagues have done that over the past 18 years. Always be grateful. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's important to network with other colleagues in the profession as well. David says, love the hammer screwdriver analogy. And Tyrone says, who was your best trainer in your personal opinion as far as stage goes, Howie? That is a tinder box of a question if ever there was one.
Oh my God.
Do you want me to
I
throw
don't
you a
know.
lifeline on that? I
I
believe,
have I have so many. Go ahead.
yeah,
Go ahead, Grant. Go
I have
throw
I
your
have taken some absolutely golden nuggets of information from people that are terrible hypnotists and terrible trainers. And I've got some good stuff from brilliant people. I think there's something of value from anybody. If they've reached a level where you're willing to part with your hard-earned money to go and learn something from them, whether that's you're going to learn something on their marketing or their techniques or something, I think everybody has something of value to offer.
Thank you. I would agree with that. Like
Yeah,
I said, try to find a golden nugget from everything.
yeah,
When I go to conventions, I might not be buying your whole program, but I guarantee you, I've walked out of whatever session it was with some golden nugget that I can incorporate into my practice
yeah,
that that can make a big difference to what
yeah.
I do.
It's like reading. It's like reading your old hypnosis books again, or going through your
So,
original training stuff again. You go through it and you go, "Oh, I missed that the first time," or the first time you were so consumed with everything else, you missed the tiny, infinite little details that make the difference as well. Colin Chapman says, "Keep the blade sharp," which is absolutely correct there.
absolutely.
Mark says, "Is that question pacing or leading?" Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, we all have our favorite routines. it doesn't have to be one of yours, it can be anybody's, but what's your favorite either type of routine to see or what's your favorite skit?
What is my favorite skit?
Yeah.
Oof. I like my fishing skit.
Yeah.
I can't say it's absolutely my own. I think I saw Pat Collins do it a gazillion years ago. So I've adapted mine from something or a version of hers.
Yeah.
Uh, but I do like that skit. I think that the kids enjoy it. I think they still are active in it. And the way that I twisted at the end, I think that everybody gets a good kick out of it.
Yeah.
It's not just fishing itself.
Yeah. And I think it's about taking those routines and then, like you said, making them your own and polishing them. A YouTube commentator who this week has been going through quite a few of my videos and commenting. If you're watching, thank you. It's all engagement. And I think it was on last week's show when Richard Cole was talking about he's looking forward to seeing the advancement of routines. And I think
Yeah, right.
the comment was how ironic that Grant's still doing the shoe phone routine. And my argument was it's a great routine. And
It is.
sometimes I think there's a big rush for, and there's nothing wrong in original content, but it's mixing that original content with solid foundations of entertaining and funny stuff. Because what we don't want is audience being bored of hypnosis. We want to see them with solid routines as well.
Well, people go to see comics do the same joke that they've heard 100 times. They just want to hear it live. And so what's the difference if they've seen shoe phone online?
Yeah.
They want to see your version of it now with their friends up there. So, I think there's no problem in doing the classics.
Yeah.
People want to see it.
Yeah, I get people now, if I don't do the purple monkey at the end of my show, they're like, where's the purple monkey? That's what they've booked the show for. Tyrone says, Dominatrix is my favorite. I don't know if he's gone on to a different chat. Maybe this is your
I don't
talking
do
about
adult
earlier,
shows.
Yeah,
I don't do adult shows. I tried a couple of those when I was younger and just didn't like the way they made me feel afterwards. So I quit doing adult shows. I don't do them any longer.
And they said it's originally by Peter Powers. Peter Powers, I don't know if you know him in the US, is a amazing UK stage hypnotist that spends a lot of his time in Australia, I believe now. But he does do the Glasgow Pavilion a couple of times a year, and it is an amazing show. So yeah, Peter Powers is a great hypnotist, and he's one of the guys that stays in his own lane. He doesn't get involved in the hypnosis community. As you know, and a lot of us know, sometimes those Facebook groups can be quite volatile.
Oh, yes.
But I think from that, goodness comes from it, as long as newer people aren't scared to come forward with their questions and ideas. What would you say to a younger Howie or somebody new in the industry that was trying to break through? What would you say to them?
Keep doing shows. Do them for anybody that'll listen to you. I'm not a super person for street hypnosis, but yes, you can break your chops on it. But just be careful, because you could get sued there too. It's no places keeps you out of that kind of stuff. Know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Practice with lots of people. Don't practice with family. Family, at least in my advice, is not stay away from family. They just don't do what you want them to do. Typically, they've seen you as something else before you got into the field. So I always find that you're much better off if you're going to strangers than you are to anybody else, because when you introduce yourself as a hypnotist, you are a hypnotist. Nobody else, they've never heard of one before or never met one before. They've heard of you. They just never met one.
And I think that's why we have the mysterious posters. For years, that's why I had the little goatee thing there. And do you know what? I mean, it's never coming back. The beard is staying for now. And I'm just ashamed that none of my friends ever told me.
Well, you can tell Paul I shaved for him for today. So after his comment yesterday, right, Paul?
Oh, yeah. Where is it?
I know. It's all gone.
Oh.
it'll come back, but
Yes.
I had to look like Howie, right? So some people ask me how I got my name. First off, it is my first name, but when I was a teacher, everybody told me that I looked like Howie Mandel,
Yes.
and I guess that's a compliment. I will take that, but I just kind of ran with it, and then so it kind of became an interesting part when I was trying to figure out what I was going to do for hypnosis. Was I going to be my first name or the name I go by, or was I going to go by something else? And when I was a clown, let's see, let's go back years and years ago. I used to clown, so this entertainment thing is not new to me. So when I was clowning, I always enjoyed putting on my makeup, my name, and then going by that thing because nobody knew who I was at that point. And it was pretty hard to recognize who I was. And so I could become a character that I wanted to. And when I became a hypnotist, I wanted to be able to be anybody I wanted to be at that
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah.
Um, it allows me to be a much more confident person because I don't have to live with all the baggage of how I grew up and where I grew up in life.
Yeah.
So,
And you know what? That's such a great point. I think a lot of performers, not all of them, I speak from my experience and from what you've just said there. I think sometimes when we have stuff back there, to get on stage and have that validation, have that applause, to entertain people, to have that moment where you just feel free on stage is just something spectacular. And I think, my childhood has enabled me, or I believe has enabled me to be a better performer. And so that is a good thing from that.
and I know I'm not an individual in this. I mean, Justin Trance is one of those people that changed his name and was able to work off of that. I know a couple other people out here in this industry that go by pseudonyms of themselves, and it seems to suit their character of who they've grown into, right? So they've left that past behind and they've now turned into I won't say turned into, grew into a new person.
Yeah. Oh, Ramsay says Grant would rock the Van Dyke beard. Yeah. Bless. And Tyrone, yes. You know that as well, brother. So tell me about the future for Howie Hypnotize. Are you on TikTok yet? Are you on YouTube? Are you going to be going down that road? I know a lot of people are at the moment. I'm still unsure. I do put stuff out on TikTok because I do quite like it, but I'm trying to figure out where the future of stage hypnosis is going to be. Where do you see our craft in the next 5 years?
Oof. I'm not on TikTok,
You should do it.
although I've had people from my shows on there that have over 1 million hits. So
Yeah,
they're like, "Well, we'll tag you," but I'm like, "Well, I'm not there.
yeah,
Do the best that you can to tag me." Um, I am on YouTube. I
yeah,
post my highlight clips there. I don't put full shows out for people.
yeah,
That's always just been my own, I guess, thought of it. I like highlight reels,
yeah.
considering the attention span of most people is less than a minute. So,
I think full
so
shows on YouTube are they're only there for other hypnotists. I think I have 2 on there, full shows. The reason why is, and this is my opinion, um, stage hypnosis is meant to be an in-person live event. The energy in the room,
100%.
all the atmosphere, all of it is amazing. It's electrifying. When you put that on screen on YouTube, even on TV, I don't think it captures that at all. And a lot of it feels like dead air because you've not got that atmosphere in the room. So I like highlight reels of hypnosis. I don't want to watch a full hypnosis show on YouTube because a lot of that is just filling space. So I think stage hypnosis should always be live.
I think a lot of it's set up, right? So a lot of us set
Yeah,
our skits up to get the reaction that we want out of our participants, and sometimes the setup is not very entertaining.
yeah,
We, but it is a necessary evil to get the reaction you want.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Tyrone says TikTok is the new YouTube, but better. Absolutely. It's like a weird one. I think TikTok is the starter, the entree, and YouTube is the main course. I think TikTok is great for grabbing people's attention and then sending them somewhere else as well. In fact, Tyrone a couple of years ago was doing reviews of stage hypnotists as well, which was really cool. And again, it's about promoting positive, good stage hypnosis as well. Jeff Benink says you miss so much when it's a recording. Absolutely, absolutely. You got to see the whites of their eyes when they go there. Full shows are essential if you want to increase viewer retention on your channel. Yes, that's the other side of things. If you're wanting watch time on YouTube, then that's a different way of going about it. Colin Chapman says, I'm 100% with you on this. I'm going to claim that he's agreeing with me. I'm just going to screenshot that for anything I say that Colin disagrees with, and then we can say that. So, if you were to recommend a hypnosis book to anybody watching this, what would it be?
The last book I finished was Freddie Jacquin's hypnotherapy book. Looks like this.
Great book. Well, look at all those post-it notes.
I know.
Well-read book.
Absolutely love his power lift. I've actually done it in a show.
Ah, interesting.
So, yeah, I didn't remember. You got to have a toolbox, so it wasn't something I was expecting to have to do, but it ended up working very well for me. Let's say that.
The Jacquin powerlift goes really well into Bob Burns's Swan as well.
Oh yes, we love the Swan.
Exactly. So yeah, again, a hybrid of different techniques there as well. Freddie Jacquin, an amazing hypnotist as well. And Colin Chapman, not Colin Chapman, says ROFLMFAO. So, websites, let me just pop this up here as well. That is your website. Guys, please do check out Howie's website. There will be a link in Facebook and YouTube as well. Once you're a hypnotist, you can never leave it. It's with you forever. Yeah, absolutely. I believe it's not something we do. It's who we are, which is why the pandemic was so hard for a lot of us. Our sense of identity was shaken and took away. Whilst we're popping some links up there as well, that is a link to the YouTube channel where we have over 100 interviews with top stage hypnotists as well. And final link, whilst we're doing some links as well, that is a link to the Amazon Live shopfront, where we, if you're interested in live streaming and how this stream looks like it does, if you go over there, there's a list of the equipment and my Amazon Live stream shows, which is good fun as well. What's your next big project? What's the next show you're looking forward to?
I have another this weekend, so
nice.
Going back to doing some high school after proms, and so very excited for the weekend to begin and get back to doing what we do. Weekdays can be slow being a stage hypnotist guy.
Yeah.
And I apologize for the cough, but I'm just getting over COVID. So I made it through the whole pandemic without getting it, and now I'm just finishing it. So
wow.
Still holding on a little bit.
Yeah, I had it. I was tired for a day, but I was okay, I think. And touch wood, I've only had it the once, but it's so weird. But I think everybody has either had it or will have it, and I think some people have had it and didn't know they had it. But the good thing is I mean, where I am in the world now, everything seems fairly back to normal. Things seem fairly back to normal in the US. All it took was a war with Russia.
Yeah, sure.
Just cleared COVID straight out. So yeah, Howie, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you, Grant. I really appreciate it.
Thanks you very much
to all the people that watch this and all the people that will watch it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you very much for taking this time out of your busy schedule and sharing your golden nuggets of information as well. Guys, please do Give Howie lots of love. Put that applause emoji in the comment section. And yes, I shall see you next week. Guys, oh, there we go. Final question from Tyrone. Do you enjoy watching other hypnosis shows?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. If I get a chance to go see a hypnotist, I will go and see the hypnotist. I think it's one of the best forms of entertainment out there. Absolutely.
Kevin Lapine out in Vegas.
Yeah.
Mark Savards.
Yeah.
Just some really great guys out that way.
Yeah. And stage hypnotist watching this as well, please do connect with Paul Ramsay for mastermind as well. He does a great mastermind where we gets on a guest and everybody questions them, and it's a great format. So do connect with Paul Ramsay over that. So guys, from me and from Howie for this week, take care, God bless, and we'll see you soon.
Take care.